Hi everyone, this is Heather Lawton from the Flourish Academy. This is episode 521. I wanted to give you guys an update on my hard drive failure. A couple of weeks I told you about my main operating working hard drive that failed, and my Drobo RAID 5 backup also failed at the same time. What are the chances of that happening? Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter because it happened. So I'm obviously revisiting that backup strategy. But in the meantime, I had to send my drive out to recovery experts because there were some things on there that I needed. Now, there weren't any client images that were ever in danger, but I did have some personal files and some information for the Flourish Academy. I mean, files like Photoshop files, etc., that I really needed to get off of that hard drive. So before I tell you about this, my question to you is, what is your current backup strategy? A. And B, are you sure? Have you tested it? Because I thought I had a pretty solid backup strategy, but I hadn't tested it in a while or checked it, and I was burned. And it was my own doing. I accept responsibility for that. So I sent this drive out. I got an email back from them saying that it was a full recovery, which was fantastic. It cost $854 plus a drive, plus shipping. All said, it was around $1,000 for me to get the drive recovered, which, you know, it's a cost of doing business. It's what you have to do. That doesn't bother me, although I wish it wouldn't have happened and that I would have had a better system in place. But look what just arrived. This is the drive they sent. So this is not my drive. It's a new drive with everything recovered. In the meantime, I also purchased a drive. So what I'm going to start doing probably next week, because I'm a little busy this week, is to reconcile what was on that drive with what I've started on my new drive, get that all cleaned up, and really focus on my new backup system, which I've already started to implement. So I decided to go with Backblaze because of the affordability, and it's online, which means it's out of my house and off-site. So Drobos, I have 2 RAID 5 Drobos sitting in my house. One of them is still working and it's backing up other things, more of our personal documents and photos, but not anything related to the Flourish Academy or clients. So that's still running, but the other one is just sitting there, which is a shame. My IT director, that's my husband, did buy a new drive for that. It's a RAID 5, so there are 5 drives. And one of them failed, but something about the backup failed. I don't know. He's working on it. I don't care. I don't want to use it anymore, so I'm going with Drobo. But I wanted to share with you where we sent this and what they told us. So this is, I have the paperwork here. This is from the Data Rescue Center. It says award-winning data recovery service, which I'd have to agree with. And they are located in California. So this was what they sent back with the drive in terms of the service area corruption. It says, no signs of physical damage were discovered during the external visual inspection. Okay, before I move on, that doesn't surprise me. That drive never moves. It sits on my desk and I never touch it. For those of you that travel with your hard drives, and I have seen you do this, you throw your hard drives into your camera bag or into your purse. I just cannot fathom why you would take that chance. That is so risky, especially with legacy drives. Now, the newer solid state drives obviously don't have moving parts, so they're not as susceptible to that type of physical damage. But if you are just carelessly throwing your hard drives around, you're really asking for trouble. I treat mine very well, so it doesn't surprise me that it didn't have any physical damage. Nothing happened to it, and obviously I knew that. The electronics board completed without error. Sorry, that was like cut off. During the service area testing, multiple service area modules were found corrupted, needed to be reconstructed using healthy modules from a donor, sounds like surgery, from a donor hard drive of the same manufacturer and family. Okay, and that's all it says, $845 plus the cost of the drive plus shipping. This doesn't surprise me. I assumed that there was a corruption issue on the drive because there was no physical damage. It doesn't move, and it happened. I thought there was a strange connection. Something was off when I was using Camtasia, which is my video editing software. That's how I edit all of my screencasts. And it locked up and it wasn't reading. I thought maybe it's a cable. But no, there were corrupt sectors on the drive, which is just going to happen over time. So you have to make sure that you are backing up your hard drives, of course. But periodically I switch my hard drives out and I get new ones because corrupt files can hurt a drive whether it's solid state or not. And that's always going to happen. Eventually, files can become corrupt. So you need to make sure that you have a good backup system in place. Okay, I see you, Alyssa. Redundancy is key. My cloud service is Backblaze. I've used it twice in the past 6 years, and it's worth every penny. I agree. She's a wedding photographer. She has to be nutso about these photos because you can't take any chances in that regard. So I wanted to give you an update that my lack of paying attention, I wouldn't call it carelessness because I had a backup system. It just so happens that it failed the same time that my hard drive failed. I would call that decidedly inconvenient. I'd classify it as a bummer. But it's going to happen, so I need to have a better system in place. So learn from me, because trust me, if it can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I take great care to protect my drives and my files, and not testing my backup system, meaning, are you sure you can recover it? If something happens, can you go to those files and say, oh yes, there they are, no problem. You should test your backup systems. I didn't, and it cost me $1,000. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next video.